Co się gapisz?
Hi, CINFLIX Recaps here. Today I am gonna recap a 2012 Polish romantic drama movie called Shameless where brother and sister has an intimate relation. Watch this video full to know what happened. Spoilers ahead and enjoy. The movie starts with a boy named Tadek where he is seen traveling by train without tickets, so before reaching the station he jumped off the train. He was seen by a girl named Irmina who was at the time with her family standing near the train track. Tadek then goes to his half-sister apartment with ice cream from the street. When Tadek opened the doors and enters the room, he sees his sister Anka without dress, and Tadek felt shy to see her like that. Anna then, without saying anything, goes to her room to get ready, because she has been waiting for her boyfriend to come pick her up. After some time, Andrew, who is Anna's boyfriend, comes and Anna then get into his car and leave. Tadek is jealous seeing this because he adore her intimately since they were very young, but Anna always think Tadek is only her brother, not more. Anna returns with Andre at late night in a very intoxicated state, and they started to get physical. The following morning Andre wakes up and leaves Anka's house. After he leaves Anka, and they are alone and sitting in the dining table eating breakfast, and they start to have a conversation with each other. Tedek start talking in a really strange way with her, and she doesn't just like the way her stepbrother is talking to her. He tells Anka that he came here for some schoolwork. Anka knows that Tedek liked her from childhood. After that small discussion, Anka tells Tedek that she's in a very serious relationship with her boyfriend Andre, and they truly love each other very much. Anka moreover tells Tedek that she'll soon get married, and she wants Tadek to stop thinking about her and treat her as sister. After the discussion, Tedek leaves for school. In school, Irmina, the young lady from the train, sees Tedek, and she remembers him that he's the fellow who jumped from the train that day. Tedek is a nice-looking, charming and attractive youthful man, so he attracts Irmina. Tedek, after knowing that his stepsister and Andre are in a really genuine relationship and before long they're planning to wed each other, he now knows that his hope of getting intimacy with his stepsister is gone, and he should learn to accept Andre. He tries to create a bond of friendship between him and Andre, but in reality he doesn't like Andre. In the next scene we see Tedek meets one of his friends and he talks about Andre and tells him that Andre is his stepsister's boyfriend. Tadek's friend lives close to Andre's house. After hearing that his sister is Andre's girlfriend, he informs Tedek that he has a family with wife and 2 children and he is taking advantage of her. So, Tedek goes straight to Anka and tells her everything. Surprisingly, Anka tells Tedek that she already knows that he is with wife and kids, and Tedek is shocked to hear this. Anka gets angry because he has been saying bad things about Andre. In outrage, she tells Tedek that she knows what he always think of doing with her in his mind, which is really inappropriate as she is his stepsister. She also tells him that she knows what he does with her clothes while she is not around, sniffing and doing odd things with it. She then tells Tedek to leave and never come back. After all this fuss, the doorbell ring and a man was standing. He then hand over the electric bill and Anka's hasn't paid for months. Tedek feels exceptionally awful after getting confronted by his sister. He started packing his stuff and his baggage to leave. When he is about to take off, Anka sees him and begins to feel terrible as she realizes that he is only saying to protect her. After this, she doesn't allow Tedek to leave the house and persuades him to stay. They become emotional, start to embrace each other by hugging and begin crying. In the following scene we see that Tedek is passing by in a nearby supermarket and Irmina sees Tedek and approaches him since she likes him exceptionally much. They have a very long chat, and after the conversation takes place, Tedek realizes that Irmina has a big crush on him and likes him exceptionally much. After the discussion, Tedek says goodbye to Irmina and takes off to his stepsister's house. When he gets inside, he finds that Andre is cheating on his stepsister and is having fun with a few other young ladies in his stepsister's house. Tedek locks the girl and Andre in Anka's house so that they can't leave. He wants to show his stepsister what a real pervert and scumbag he is. When Anka returns, sees Andre and some other girl in her house as proof. Seeing this in her house, she comes to the realization that Tedek is right about Andre, that he's just having fun with her and he's not planning to wed her. She ends her relationship with Andre immediately. At night, when the power of Anka's house was cut since she hadn't paid the power bill for several months, he goes down to his sister and learns about her money-related inconveniences. He chooses to get a work so that he can help her to pay off her bills. At his work, Irmina sees Tedek and she gets it that if Tedek is doing a work, that means he needs money. And she then takes him to some places since she likes him and want to impress him and get into his good sides. Together, they steal some hefty items, which they then take to the market and sell for cash. However, the money isn't particularly large. Tedek needs more money to pay the power bill, so he tells Irmina that the money he has is insufficient, and that he needs more money to aid his sister, for which he is willing to undertake any kind of work and risk everything. Irmina feels terrible for him, and she adores Tedek so much that she took money from her own home to give to him so he could help her sister. Tedek is deeply moved by her kindness because he really needs the money. He tells Irmina that he will never forget her kindness. He promises that if Irmina needs help, Tadek will always be there for her, no matter what the scenario is. Tedek immediately paid the electricity bill with the money she received from Irmina, and shocks Anka when their electricity is restored and her house's light bulb turns back on, and Tadek informs her that he has paid off all of her expenses. They're both overjoyed because Tedek has helped her pay off her electric costs, and Tedek is overjoyed because his sister has found happiness again after her painful breakup with Andre. The scene turns to Irmina approaching Tedek and informing him that she requires his assistance. However, Tedek refuses to assist her, and he instantly forgets about his word. Irmina feels betrayed and sobs as she walks away. Tedek returns to his stepsister's room to spend some time with her after breaking Irmina's heart, only to find her in the bathtub having a bath. He tries to join her in the tub, but Anka objects, and she becomes enraged and leaves. Anka doesn't sleep for a second at night because of Tedek's behavior. She becomes restless and goes to Tedek's room to try to persuade him that what he's thinking in his head is really wrong. She informs him that she is his sister and that he should treat her as such. Sisters and brothers do not have this type of relationship. Tadek has told Anka how much he loves her since childhood. Anka understands how much Tedek loves her, despite the fact that she has been alone since her breakup with Andre. As a result, she becomes intimate with Tedek. Tedek is overjoyed since his childhood desire of having a relationship with his sister has finally fulfilled. In the next scene we see Tedek in a mall, where he encounters Andre. Andre has come to the mall to buy a gorgeous dress for Anka as an apology for cheating on her with another girl and asking for her forgiveness. Andre rushes to Anka's house to apologize to her, but Tadek arrives before him and prevents him from entering. Tedek does not want Anka to forgive Andre, so he keeps him from meeting her. Tedek jumps in to inform Andre that his stepsister is not at home. Andre departs from Anka's residence. He plans to see a movie with Anka that night and purchases movie theater tickets. When he arrives at Anka's residence, he discovers that Andre is also present. He inquires as to what Andre is doing here, to which she responds that Andre has recognized his error and has pleaded for her forgiveness, which she has granted, and they are continuing their relationship. Tedek is irritated by this because his connection with Anka has reverted to a regular brother-sister relationship. In the next scene we see Anka attending a party with Andre. Andre's boss requests Anka to dance with him on stage, which she does because she believes Andre's boss is a kind guy. She notices that Andre's boss has bad intent, so she stops dancing with him and exits the stage. She informs Andre that his boss is mistreating her. But Andre does nothing about his boss and completely disregards it because he wants Anka to spend a night with him for his promotion, and that's the only reason he's apologized to her and rebuilt their connection. Anka refuses. Andre tries everything he can to persuade her. As a result, she becomes enraged and slaps him in front of everyone. She can't take any more of Andre's insults and leaves him there. She returns home from the party and immediately begins crying because she feels terrible about trusting Andre and believing that he actually loves her. Tedek was present at the party and is aware of everything that occurred. The scene switches to Irmina's wedding, where everyone is pleased except Irmina, who is looking very unhappy since she loves Tedek and does not want to marry the man her father chose for her. Then we see some of Irmina's father's enemies try to derail her marriage by setting fire to the place. When everyone in the marriage sees the fire, they become terrified and begin to flee. This provides Irmina with the opportunity to flee her marriage, and she flees to meet Tedek. Tedek is ready to accept Irmina as his lover and run away with her when she sees him in his wedding gown, but Irmina hates him now because he didn't keep his promise. Tadek realizes he's been chasing Anka for so long, and he's been so blinded by his love for her that he completely neglected Irmina and her love for him because he wished to spend a night with his half-sister, that he forgot about Irmina's good act. He apologizes to her, but she is too angry to forgive him. Irmina kisses and shows her love for Tedek for first and final time before returning back to her wedding to marry the man her father chose. Tedek is devastated by this, and when he returns to his stepsister's house, he discovers that Anka has packed all of his belongings, implying that Tedek must now leave her home. Tedek and Anka share ice cream for the last time at the table because Tedek is about to leave her house and will never see her again. Because they've both been so stupid about so many things, neither of them wants to see each other again. The movie ends here and everybody lives happily ever after. And don't forget to comment how you feel about this video, and if you like, please like and subscribe. See you in the next video.